Wow,
I'm like,
really?
really? He said, before COVID, and it's not the judge, the JA, the judicial assistant, but she's like, before COVID, would have you even asked? It's like, no, I wouldn't have asked. I would have had to show up. But now during COVID, I have an excuse.
So
Like,
can I zoom in? Can I zoom in, Judge?
yeah, oh, absolutely. I tried that. So, but what are you going to do? That's part of the deal. So,
Yeah. Well, at least you get to go to South Florida, right?
yeah, I'm going to delay it till January when it's colder here. So,
Yeah.
no reason to go down now. So, I'll wait till January when it's really cold and nasty out. I don't want to be down there anyways. So.
Yep.
But I think clients are not going to expect me to bill as much for travel and everything because they haven't had to do it for 8 months. So now they're going to start saying, "Well, wait, why am I paying you $1,000, $1,500 to travel to do this?" So
I just always blame it on the judge.
exactly, ain't my fault. So Steve, you'll think this is interesting. My sister-in-law just started working for Amazon in
Welcome
HR.
to the Sunrise, and thank you, remote attendees, for all your conversation. We've heard all through this room very loudly, and we were entertained by that, and we appreciate that, as well as all of our attendees here. And again, welcome to the Sunrise. We're glad you're here. Today is going to be a fairly unique day when we have occasionally had business meetings, but we're going to try to do this on probably about a quarterly basis just to keep up to speed with the various irons that are in the fire. We're going to start off the meeting with the prayer and pledge, always keeping Don Ammons in our special attentions. And with that, Steve Ammons has agreed to give the prayer and lead us in the pledge this morning. So Steve, you are loud and clear in our meeting.
Evidently extremely loud, and hopefully I'll be clear. But will you pray with me, please? Lord, we thank you for the day that you've given us. We pray that you'll keep your eyes on us and make sure that we're doing what's in your will for us. Lord, in this time of COVID and elections, we need some grace. We need your everlasting love and supernatural grace on us to help us get us through these times, that we can find a place that we can all work together and live together in a way that is pleasing to you. Lord, I pray especially for those dealing with hurricane damage and those dealing with the hurricane in South America now. Lord, I ask all these things in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much, Steve. I appreciate it. And for all of our attendees this morning, the unique thing having what I call the hybrid meeting is that while we can fairly easily do video, the audio can be challenging. So Alan Stevens has agreed to lead the Feed the Pig and have a microphone so that we can actually, the remote attendees can hear what your happy or prayerful dollar is. So I'm going to move the camera. Alan, can you start going around the room?
Beautiful weather we're having. May it stay for the next year.
For all of our leaders, including this Rotary Club's leaders, $1, and then for those impacted in Central and South America by the hurricane, the new hurricane.
I have two. One is for Don Ammons, and the other is in memory of Natalie Morgan, who is Judy Stoppelbein's daughter. You all might know who that is. She grew up in Vestavia. She died last weekend suddenly from complications from diabetes, I believe. And Judy is she's retired, but she was the teacher or the counselor at Vestavia East for umpteen years, many, many years.
For the end of political ads.
This is just for good company, and then it's also my deposit for the remainder of the year.
Just for the beautiful day it is.
It's all yours, Jeff.
For feeding the pig, and I'm remiss sometimes in not asking our remote attendees. You can just have a virtual dollar if you'd like. Would y'all like to have? Do you have a happy dollar, prayerful dollar, or any contribution to feeding the pig remotely? If you do, it looks like Steve does. He's unmuted.
Yeah, just to echo what Lori said about the hurricane in South America, that's actually going directly through Tegucigalpa, where Forgotten Children's Ministry is.
Very good. Very good. Anyone else? Okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I think it's noteworthy, very noteworthy, and Bob would be very happy with this, that our crew for November is in 100% attendance today. 1 remote and 3 here, 3 others here. So welcome, and glad to have the entire team here, and appreciate all the efforts and thoughts, and arrived this morning. We didn't have to set up anything. It was awesome. It was awesome. Birthdays this month, we have a few. Charlie's coming up next week, so happy birthday, Charlie, next week. And Garrett is next week as well, as along with Chuck. So again, some very good birthdays, and we hope that you have wonderful days when your day hits. So important dates. Please make a note of these, because it sort of gets a little dicey as we get over the next several weeks about whether we're meeting or not. We are meeting next Thursday. Steve Jones with the Alabama State Parks will be here. We'll then follow up with a board meeting via Zoom. We do not have the board members come in by Zoom, and we conduct some business there. Thanksgiving is the following Thursday. We do not have a meeting. We will be meeting the first Thursday of December. Chuck Holmes, CEO of WBHM, will be our guest. And then on December the 10th, which is a Thursday, in lieu of a meeting, we will be having our club holiday party at the Vestavia Country Club. Again, mark December 10th. We want very good attendance to that. We will start putting together menus and sending out information and so forth as we approach that time. So please make a note of that, and please attend if you can. It's always a good time. Today's program, we're going to have a business meeting, and one of the most important, noteworthy service events that we have is our first responders picnic. I think we did a really good job of pivoting back in earlier this year, and we're able to raise some money and have a good time. It was a good bonding time, and the police and fire really appreciated the barbecue plates and the Boston butts and everything associated with the event. We are very hopeful that next spring that we can get to some level of normalcy. We do not know right now, but there's already competition for spots on the calendar. And we were looking at the various things that go on in April and May, whether it be the potential Masters again next, I guess Masters this month, but also next year in the April-May timeframe. So is NASCAR, so are major fundraisers at the high school. And so there were 2 dates that were available that didn't have major conflicts: April the 24th, Saturday, or May the 1st. And we were slow to the game, and so the Wingding event chose April 24th. So the wingding will be held here at the City Hall location on the 24th. So I jumped at going ahead, since my office controls the calendar, and I didn't bump them, but we did pencil in May 1st of next year for the first responders picnic. Talked to the police and fire chiefs. They're open to the event. We'll wait and see what happens as we evolve into what will be over a year potentially of the COVID issues. But they are open to going ahead and scheduling and having their personnel participate on May the 1st. So that is something that, again, I'd like for you to get on your calendars. I know Andy walked in, he's eating his breakfast, and I'm not going to call on him right now so he can finish his breakfast, but I know Andy is our permanent fundraising chair for First Responders Picnic. I hope it's permanent. He hasn't pushed back yet, but he may after the meeting. So he is sort of subtly pushing back right now. But we oftentimes wait to the last minute to ask for the gifts, and we've had issues some in the past as far as good accounting. Well, I think we've cleared that up from the standpoint that Uman is not only the treasurer of this club now, Uman is also the treasurer of the foundation. And so having dual roles will help in managing what money is actually received and deposited, who gets credit for sponsorships, and so forth. But we have in our strategic plan a goal to ultimately raise $40,000 on the event. This past year's goal was $35,000, and we were, with very minimal effort, were able to raise probably about $18,000, $19,000. And for us to get to the point where we can do everything that our goals and objectives that have been stated, we need to start a little earlier, at least at the higher level of giving, and get into the funding cycles of some of the bigger givers. To do so, we need to have the appropriate updated graphics and materials so that when we make an ask, we can have that information available. So I'm going to pause right now before we get a little bit into the meat of that and ask the group if any of you has issues or concerns with a May 1st date, with setting a repeat goal of $35,000 in sponsorships, or any issues with that at all. So I want to seek some input before we just presume that it's all good. Anybody, and anybody remotely, just speak up. That is awesome. I love a unanimous group that has no issues, and we can just move up. Troy has something.
Just a comment. I know several years ago when we had done this, that there are like Walmart does some sponsorship type stuff, but you have to put it in by like December or somewhere in there. So if we're starting that, that's something we should maybe sign up for, because I think we can get like $500 to $1,000 from there.
Right, and that's part of the reason why we're bringing it up right now. Some people say, "Oh, we just finished it. Why are we?" But we need to get ahead of the game from that perspective. We have in December we have a speaker from Publix. The regional marketing person is going to be here, as well as hopefully the new manager for the Publix on Morgan Road. And so getting them to be participants in our club, to be potential sponsors, all of these things are, to me, a November, December action item. I guess my question, if recognizing what you've said and recognizing that we have general consensus on this, is to ask, from the standpoint of updated graphics and materials, to me, it's a change of a date. It's a change, an update of some things of that nature. Stephen is not here right now. Has there been a individual or a couple of individuals that have taken the lead on that, Andy? Margaret, I think,
worked
is
on
a-
it in the past. I see her shaking her head.
and listen, to me, I have staff, and I don't mind asking to update, but is it as simple as a Word document and changing from 2020 to 2021? If you could take that as a lead, that would be awesome to just take the standard form. To me, we can reach a $35,000 goal with having everything remain the same. It's just a matter of a little bit of sweat equity and update. So, and and if you can update that, I think one of the things is where the checks get delivered and how they get processed. Okay. Okay. All right. And Charlie has a comment. That's my next slide. That's my next slide. So, and Charlie, for those remotely, Charlie asked, are we going to have key top level sponsors to meet the goal? And the answer is yes. And it's the same pyramid of participation. That's hard to read. I apologize. But it's the same level as before. For us to get to our goal and look at the past history, the ability to have a title sponsor at $5,000, one, two $2,500 givers, and $3,000 givers are your top three levels that are the biggest challenge to get to your total. The others are us going and asking our friends, making family donations, and so forth. So again, one title sponsor, two 2,500 platinum sponsors, and two $1,000 sponsors get us to the point where I would love to have that in place by January and then be able to then run with all the others. Lori was responsible for $3,000 gifts last year. I was responsible for the $5,000 gift from my original conversations with America's First, and BB&T had one of the $2,500 that we did not push them to pay. It just sort of lingered because of the COVID situation. So I'm going to take the lead, and Jason on BB&T for maybe us to go together, because I know Steve Vickery's tired of me coming to him every year, but maybe if we go together, I'll take the lead on the 5,000, which they basically already committed to be a perennial sponsor, America's First. I'll take the lead with Jason, and we'll go ask BB&T for $2,500. That leaves one $2,500 gift and $2,000 gifts. We hit that, and it could be maybe some combination like what Troy said, with Walmart giving, with maybe Publix charitable giving. So what I'd like to do is basically to the club, just talk about this and try to make this process as simple and direct as possible. So if any of you, we're not asking for a Herculean load on anybody, but if there are asks, we're talking about just a few asks early on can get us really close to being able to move toward our $35,000 goal. So I will take the lead. I will take one 2,500 and I'll put it on my shoulders to deliver that. And I think we can do that. If somebody after the meeting or subsequent will sort of prompt me with an email or a conversation, and then we'll coordinate with Andy, and we'll try to get to the point of having the top level givers committed before we even enter the fundraising time frame. And if if anybody wants to speak up on that right now, please do so. Otherwise, I think it's just going to be incumbent upon me and others to continue to push that. But the first thing we need is an updated form to go put with our communications.
Hey, Jeff,
Yes?
hey, so can we have co-title sponsors if they don't conflict?
I don't think America's First is going to have a problem with that, but we have given them, we've sold them on this concept. So we could, what might be able to do is we could create a super platinum level and make it $4,000 or something. Or, but if you have somebody in mind, I think that's something we just have to, I'll have to talk to the leaders at America's First.
I was going to go ahead and commit from my discretionary money to do $5,000 to match the title sponsor.
Oh, awesome. Thank you, Steve. You're the man. Come, let's give him a round. This was an easy fundraising morning. That puts less pressure on all of us. Andy, keep the spreadsheet and note, this is being recorded, Steve. That we have co-sponsors, and I know America's First will have no problem with Commissioner Ammons co-sponsoring that. So thank you, Steve.
Steve Vickery at BB&T wouldn't have an issue either. I have a lot of money with him right now with the county, so he would probably say yes quickly.
Remember that, Jason, as we approach Steve and that. All right, so hey, I'm just going to call Jason. He'll just walk down there and say, Steve, we're committed. So thank you, Steve Ammons. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Wow, makes it a lot easier. We're closer to our $35,000 goal. So again, it has been a productive morning. So if you all know of a potential target, prospect, whatever please speak up. Don't let it linger, because between Andy and myself, we're going to continue to push toward having, by the first meeting in January, some level of commitment at the highest level. So, Andy, you want to say, Jacob?
Yeah, just a question. Do we have a specific item or fund or something like that
Goes to the foundation. But we have a commitment to supporting the police and fire in their initiatives, and we don't have their ask this year, but generally it's about somewhere between 5,000 and 10,000 each. And I'm about to go over our goals, and you all, the club, has set some goals, and one of the goals was to implement a first responders picnic scholarship. Ill-defined, but if we can reach that $35,000 level, then we can start exploring more than just event cost and a couple of items for police and fire. It could go beyond that. Now, what that means, I don't know, but it came out of our strategic planning process. It might be a scholarship to one of the first responders' kids. Who knows? But that's something for the group to decide. And if we can make headway on fundraising, then I mean, the event costs are not tremendous. When we've gotten it down to or Stephen has gotten it down to a science where it's not a huge cost. And we, the city, have budgeted for the tent, which was always a big cost associated with that too. So. But again, if we can make progress, then we can meet some of our goals. So with that, any other comments? Well, last year, and we had a show and tell here, and the show and tell the police had, and I may be calling it wrong, the robot, where basically it's a throwbot. So you take it and you're going into a hazardous situation, you throw it over the fence or you throw it into the house, and it has a camera, and they can remotely operate it and see from an intel perspective, see what's coming on. And the fire department, we combined funds to Jaws of Life, and they came in a battery charged Jaws of Life, so they don't have to find a power source for it. And they came in here and showed that at one meeting as well. So, but we have a whole history of giving. Probably the most notable was the drone. And it has been used time and time again on the Cahaba River as river rats get stuck on the river and can't get out, and it's after dark, so they run the river with the drone, as well as serving as reconnaissance and intelligence gathering tools as well. So again, we've done very well from that perspective. Sally? Okay. Okay. Perfect. What's that? Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. If the verbiage can be delivered, and we work just a few minutes on getting refreshing the documents, that can be the next prompt to lead to the ask. And so again, I think we're probably at 12,500 just in 2 minutes. So that's pretty good. Anything else on first responders? All right, great. Club goals. I am a simple man, and I like simple thoughts and trying to have something that's achievable. And through our good strategic planning process, we had a number of goals. And so what I like to do is take a couple general goals each of our business meetings and focus on what we have done or will do toward this end. And our club goals on the youth service side included developing youth programs, and it said at the middle school, first responders picnic scholarships, and generally support the We the People program. On the youth program side, while it sort of is entering into what I'm going to say in a slide down, we have this mentorship program that evolved from the Academy of Craft Training program. And I know Charlie, as owning a mechanical contracting company, knows the value of bringing people into those trades. And while that's something important, the Vestavia City Schools has asked us to even go beyond that and provide mentors in their 9th through 12th grade programs to help support other vocations as well. And it's something that's growing. They're looking next year to have an entrepreneurial program, which is really cool. It's a Shark Tank is what it is. And to me, we all in our various vocations have some entrepreneurial spirit, some way of growing what we do. And so they have expressed to me, please don't limit what you think your capabilities are, because mentorship might not be Bob going and teaching a class on engineering. It might be just partnering and teaching a person how to interview or whatever. So don't leave yourselves out of some opportunity. We have 10 people who volunteered. Those names have been turned over to the Vestavia Hills City School System. I have a call in to Dr. Cooper, who spoke to us before, and we're going to figure out at this point in time how to engage with the programs to help develop youth programs with the city school system. And that's something that I think goes toward our goals, and is also supported by our Academy of Crafts Training District grant. We've just talked about first responders picnic scholarships. If we can raise the money, this is something we can entertain. And supporting We the People has really been helped with some district grants. But as we all know, really, Alan has been the link to the We the People program from my perspective, even though we've had a long history. Alan's house, I get sadder and sadder as it comes closer and closer to being finished, but we're going to have to figure out a way to transition that institutional knowledge on we the people, and that's a challenge for us. So I think that, yeah, we can give the money, but we also need to continue to engage. And that might be they always come, or they typically have come for a meeting a year to sort of talk about their accomplishments. I'd like to pause now and see if there's any comments or thoughts on the youth service perspective. I think we've made progress, and I think we'll make further progress, but comments on youth service concerns or thoughts on that. Lori has a comment. Right, and that's a very good point. And RILA was not, at least when I looked, was not on the list, but it's been a regular thing we've done. I think Troy, your daughter has gone to RILA and others, and Adam, because we haven't been able to have socials, and he's our social chair, has agreed to lead the RILA, and we've given his name to the district as our RILA contact. So, and Adam is also learning from Alan, because Alan has been a longstanding connection to the high school and to finding and recruiting individuals to go to RILA. So please, if you have thoughts, please plug into Adam as he's getting up to speed, and the communications will be coming to him from the district. Yes. And I am the Rotary Youth Leadership Academy. And in essence, it's basically us working with the district to sponsor leadership training for high school aged individuals, engaging them into the Rotary way, but engaging them into leadership programs. And it's a scholarship to pay for their way into that program. So, and in some years we have better luck recruiting than we have other years. My goal is, since Adam's going to be as young as he is, going to be in this club for 50 years, he can just as Andy is the permanent fundraiser, he can maybe be the permanent RILA, remember? So anyway, those are those thoughts. Good points. And it's on our list. We'll add it to some of the tactics associated with that goal achievement. Size of the club. The club said we want to be about 50 members. And we, with Krista's departure, we're probably down to 39, 40, okay. And so with that, that's good, but we have not seen any incremental growth much. And so I think one of the things we have to do is continue to recruit, find opportunities. Chris Thomas from America's First came and visited. We did do follow-ups with him, and I will push him to see about his thought process on the club. Sometimes it takes a little extraordinary effort to get people to make that commitment, but my goal is to do that. And I think everybody, if you have a prospect, please speak up to that. So yes, Laura. I am not a member, and I don't know the personalities as well, but there's always, I mean, I think we can always prospect. I think one of our focus has been a corporate membership from Publix, the focus of getting a few others, one-offs, but please, if I know everybody's time is valuable, if you have a prospect, but you don't feel comfortable reaching out, or you need some assistance there, please call me or email me. I'm not shy about asking. So I'll just go and if Chris doesn't want to join us, I'm gonna go talk to the CEO at America's First and see if he would encourage Chris to join. And so we're just gonna try to do what we can from there. So please keep that front of mind. Excellent speaker program. I think I'd like some input. Brent, myself, others, Garrett's been really active and engaged in trying to recruit speakers. Generally speaking, I know there's some that are stronger than others, but generally speaking, is there general satisfaction on the type of speakers we've been bringing into the club? Okay, very good. Okay, Brent, I know you're muted and you might be off doing something else. I don't know if you're behind that screen, but that was a good clap to you, Brent. So congratulations. Expanded social media. Will, I'll call out Will because YouTube is social media, and the ability to continue to create a channel, if you will, of these recorded videos is helpful to the members. For those that don't know or haven't been heard, if you don't have the ability to come to the meeting and you don't have the time to stop and join remotely, then you can go to the YouTube site and watch it after the fact. Send Jason or myself an email and we'll give you credit for attending. And that will be very helpful to the way the district sees us as far as our attendance. So that's something that I think we're making progress toward. New member orientations, haven't had any really new members to orient. But I think that is something that we can work on and try to improve as we go through. These are going to be points that from my perspective as a leader that I'm going to be constantly going back to and seeing if we're making progress. So from the size perspective in that conversation, any comments or thoughts? Lori has some thoughts.
Just to remember that was over 3 years.
Yes.
50 members in 3 years.
Right. But hopefully maybe this year we get 2 or 3 to get to that point. So let's just don't forget it. When there's, just think in your mind, when you meet somebody new or you have business with somebody and they're somehow tied to this general area, make an ask, invite them for a free breakfast. Don't forget that. All right, the mentorship program, I've talked about that, but before I go down this quick list quickly, Charlie Long emailed me to tell me they do not need volunteers for the MS shootout this year. The dynamic is different, so he's not coming to the club asking for that, but they still are looking for a few sponsors. So if your business or anybody wants to engage in that, please do so. And I told Charlie I would mention that. We've talked about the mentorship. Correct. November 16th and 17th for those remote attendees. If you please, if you want to corporately support that or make contributions, please do so. We look forward to future events where we can actually put some manpower into that. We have several club district grants. Alan, can you just sort of give we're running out of time. I've been a little more wordy than I would like. So if you would, please talk about our district grants to refresh everybody's mind on where we are with those and what action items might need to take place.
Okay, we have 4 grants, district grants this year. We divided up $4,395 from the district share of the program. And then we did matching funds for a lot of that. Critical care transport was one of our grants. That money is available now, Lori. And that we had said we were going to buy it was a flight suit, I believe, critical care transport flight suit, which cost $1,000. And so that grant is $1,000. So we had 500 from district and 500 from local. The second grant, the Academy of Craft Training plus Mentorship. That grant is for, the total is $1,395 from the district, and then $500 support from the club. That is to help support some needs at the Academy of Craft Training, and then also with some of the career awareness that they're doing at the high school and middle school. The third grant is multiple sclerosis and elderly care. Grant total is $2,000, $1,500 from district, $500 from local. And that's to assist with the patients, clients that might have MS, and then also to assist elderly with some things such as pull-up bars and just some of the cares that we could give and to help support that. And the fourth grant is We the People in Youth Government. That is a $2,000 total, $1,000 from district, $1,000 from the club, $1,000 for We the People, $1,000 for youth and government.
In essence, they are fully approved at the district level.
Fully approved and funded. And so we have received
Lori, if you could take the lead and let's expend our funds on the program that you're engaged in. And I know that Charlie continues, even though he can't attend the meetings, he's continued to, and I think he had one very modest project and submitted some cost associated with assisting an MS patient. So we are making some movement on that, but with that approval, please coordinate with Uman and let's get those funds expended. Let's document, take pictures, do what we need to do to keep track of those activities. So any questions or comments about that? June is the submittal for next year's round of grants. Garrett has been along with Alan, has been our trained grantsman, and so he's agreed to continue that effort and into his leadership role as next year's president of the club. I would like to plant a seed for next year. Dr. Cooper, the career technical education leader of Vestavia Hill City Schools, has really been on point with what I mentioned before in the entrepreneurship program, and they're looking to raise some funds to be able to make that a reality. And if we get into this mentorship program, and that's a goal for expanding that program in the school system, that might be an opportunity for us to expand as well and be helpful to them in that career technical education concept. Steve had to go to a Birmingham Business Alliance meeting, so he was going to bring. Okay, I got you. All right.
So for God Children's Ministry, we were unable to go to our excuse me, has been uplifted. More progress. The walls are up. But progress is
I think if you send some pictures, what we'll do is our next meeting, we'll show those,
okay.
and we'll
I'll send myself a note to get to send some pictures in. It's going good, and it's
And for those that are attending remotely, Jacob was just giving an update and basically saying that things have been COVID limited, but progress is being made in our global grant efforts, and there's foundations and walls going up on the girls' facility. So again, I think we should not forget that being something that we collectively and several of us have individually really gotten involved in. Last comment, and this is, I'll give a compliment to Bob. I looked in the month of October, and given our actual attendance, our remote attendance, our makeups, and the banked makeups that we're actually using to be plugged into our attendance, we've gone from about 40 and 50% attendance to 60 to 70% attendance. So there's been good progress made. We want to reinforce that. There's so many different ways for members not to, because of business and personal conflicts, not to remain somewhat engaged in our club. And so, Bob, thank you for your efforts. And I know Shelley's worked with you as well to reinforce that. But I've been going in after Jason and has plugged in the things, and I've been taking your banked makeups and actually using them so the district can see better attendance. And between, again, actual attendance and the banked makeups, we're looking extremely good from that perspective. So thank you all for your attendance, and thank you, Bob, for that leadership. So with that, we are right at 7:45, or just that past. And Steve has had to leave us, so let's all stand, and I'll lead with the four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Everybody have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Hang in there.